Witkoff, the special envoy for the Middle East, is going to Moscow, Russia, on August 6th, so he will be there 2 days before the deadline. Let's see what he will say, and will the sanctions they said will be in effect as of the 8th. Now, since we are talking about Germany, let's talk about Germany, because there are important statements from Germany, both from the Chancellor and the Minister of Defense, as well as from the Russian Foreign Minister. The UK's position on Germany: we are also going through a process in which Germany is becoming more and more armed. Now we see that Merz says that the German Chancellor is sending a clear message to our partners and the enemies of our freedom that we are capable of defending ourselves. Their defense minister says that in a possible war, German soldiers are ready to kill Russian soldiers. And the Russian foreign minister says that this brings to mind historical events. It turns Germany and the rest of Europe with its current leaders into the fourth rail. In other words, it refers to the period after the Second World War, when German militarism increased.
This refers to the regimes that were established in Germany.
But I think he wants to convey a message here that they will become much more radicalized. Mr. Amit, what point are you at here? On the one hand, we look at the US. Yes, on the field, somehow Russia is bringing troops from Korea. If you say from the economic side, they say something in their statements today. We are already immune to economic sanctions and embargoes. There is no scenario that can affect us anymore. As Professor Raghup said, is there a picture there that will affect the countries that will trade with Russia? Can it be stopped?
Let me put it to you this way. One time, I agree with the teacher. Russia will never leave the place we just saw on the map in red, Donetsk and Luhansk regions during the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union. It is where the defense industry is predominant, where there are factories, where there are large production. It won't come out from there either. Let me tell you something. From the Yalta Conference, since Russia and America have never been at war, it has always fought its union. It's true here, England, it can make its playmakers, it can play, it is in this business. Because as you know, England has separated itself from continental Europe. Now, of course, when we look at the map, NATO has two great powers. In fact, let's say 1.5. England in the west and Turkey in the east. Now in Central Europe, in the middle of Europe, Germany is talking. The army has allocated 80 billion euros. They have been saying this for years. This is something they have been saying for years. Let's build a European army. Let's separate ourselves a bit from NATO, our own army, but they can't. Because building an army is not that easy. You can get money, you can buy weapons with money, but which soldier? Where will you find a soldier? It is not possible after this time. We are facing an old Europe, very old. Now the bombing in Zaporizhia, as my professor just said, there was an explosion somewhere a kilometer away, so they don't hit there on purpose, because it is really dangerous. This is something that will affect the maps you have just shown very much in Turkey. God forbid. This is the most dangerous thing for all countries. I don't think it will enter such a nuclear war. Trump, to its own society, since the Soviet Union period, since the Cold War period, there has always been a public in America. The Russians are coming, the Russians are coming. Communism is our enemy. They are our worst enemy by saying, let us protect ourselves against it. In the US, that's how the defense industry developed. I mean, a certain fear to the public. If you don't give a certain image, you can't spend that money there. People ask where the tax revenues are spent. Oh, we have to be strong against Russia. Because Russia can attack us every month. It can destroy us. That's why the defense industry grew so much in America. It grew during the Soviet War. It was able to develop and make money. So it is always necessary to create an enemy. America created this enemy. The Soviet Union is bad. Communism is bad. And now let me say this. I want to draw a lot of attention to this. That nuclear naval launch that Trump sent is of no importance. He's only interested in his community. the same fear. It means that we should give a little more money to the defense industry. Nothing else works.
Soon the nuclear siege.
But one thing stands out. There is a subject we never talk about. I want to mention it very briefly, and I want to draw everyone's attention to it.
Please.
Look, Armenia, Yerevan. There is a nuclear power plant in Yerevan. The Russians built it years ago, 40 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. And you know, Armenia is a very poor country with a population of 2.5 million. And they get electricity from there. It'll be there tomorrow. Stay at the thing. Exploding. Nuclear power plant. At Chernobyl?
Chernobyl.
I'm very afraid it'll be like Chernobyl. It's too old. It's too old.
Something happened to
Turkey
the
is
regime or something.
definitely there. A relationship with Armenia to go in and remove that power plant or alternative energy production, support or establish a consortium. If that place explodes, we will be in trouble all the way to central Anatolia.
God forbid, God
In other
forbid.
words, the very old power plant in Yerevan should definitely be on our agenda as Turkey. Armenia is a poor country with a population of 2.5 million. Turkey already has 60, 70,000. There are Armenian citizens working there, more than 200,000. More than 200,000. Last time I knew 60,000. Maybe. So we don't have a problem in Armenia. Now that the Azerbaijani problem has been solved, I think that Turkey should definitely take a hand in that power plant in Armenia.
Bless you.
This nuclear submarine has arrived. I don't know what happened. I don't take them seriously at all. They didn't even fight during the Cold War. Here is what my professor just said. In the 70s, it was a very right move for America to enter into a relationship with China during the Nixon era. It was the right move. Those wars started under Lyndon Johnson, the Democrats. Nixon ended it and entered into a relationship with China. In my opinion, he made the right move at that time. I'm leaving China aside right now. Russia and America are not at war. Others can make them fight, but not themselves. Nuclear war, each with 5,000, 6,000 nuclear warheads. They can destroy the world 6 times. Nobody wants that either. Therefore, I honestly do not take those submarines he sent very seriously.